rapid fire, fill in the blank here. Let's start with UNC at Minnesota. We saw how good Darius Taylor was last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that dude was an absolute stud for the Gophers. So Darius Taylor can be blank for the Gophers here in 2024.
He can be their bell cow. I mean, this is a team that is built around the running game and the running back. And most teams in college football feature the quarterback. This is a team that features the tailback, and everything kind of flows off of that. Kirk Soraka, I mean, his system, I mean, the way they play, it's built around the running game. And so, they've got a new quarterback in Max Brosmer, who comes from the FCS level, was highly decorated at that level. But make no mistake, Minnesota lives and dies, wins or loses based on how well they run the football.
They will be skew-mying all the way through on the ground. So they'll make it happen for sure. Second one to move on here is Indiana State at Purdue. Hudson Card came over. He was very much anticipated to be a guy that can help lead the charge offensively. I mean, Aiden O'Connell was outstanding in his time at quarterback at Purdue, and I think Hudson Card was underwhelming to a certain degree last year in his first season. But similar to what we talked about, year 2 versus year 1 is a very different thing. So Hudson Card needs to blank in order to help Purdue rebound in 2024.
He just needs to be a more efficient quarterback. I mean, now he's got a year under his belt. Okay. So he has a full year of being a starter, the ups and downs of that. He needs to take care of the football, not throw as many interceptions. I think he had 8 last year. He did some good things. He just has to do it on a more consistent basis. Put his team in favorable situations, play complementary football. His head coach is a defensive-minded guy. So take care of the football. Don't put the defense in bad ways, and the big plays will happen. But be efficient running the team.
So we talked about Wisconsin last year and Luke Fickell's thought process of kind of revamping the offense a little bit and trying to modernize what the game looked like for Wisconsin with the new teams joining the Big Ten this year. And obviously the West Coast style is a lot of spread, a lot of West Coast offense, and all of the air raid that comes with that. So we saw that a little bit in Madison last year, but the air raid offense will blank under Tyler Van Dyke now at quarterback and Luke Fickell's second season in Madison.
I think it'll take a big jump in the right direction. Not just because Tyler Van Dyke. I just think all these players now have 2 years in the system.
Right.
It's a second year through. Really, when Malachi was pretty healthy, or Mordecai was healthy last year, they were pretty good. They were starting to get on a roll. Then he got hurt, and they had a couple receivers get nicked up. Then they lose running backs. They lost key pieces right as their offense was starting to gain some traction. So I think just having things in the second year will be better. They've got to keep their guys healthy, but I do expect that they'll take a step forward. And I think for a quarterback like Tyler Van Dyke, there's so many transfer quarterbacks across the landscape of college football. A new start, a breath of fresh air for him. It might be a little chillier air in Madison than he's used to in Miami come October and November, but I do think it's a good opportunity for him to start over.
1,000%. Last one before we move over to fourth down here today. Nebraska, you were very high on Nebraska last year. It looked like they were going to achieve your prediction of bowl eligibility in year 1 under Matt Rule. They faltered the last 3 weeks of the season, finished 5-7. But you look at what they've got this year. They have UTEP to open the season. They've got a lot coming back defensively. They've added a lot offensively, a very talented freshman starting at quarterback. So Matt Rule's squad is capable of winning blank games this season.
I think at least 8. I really do. I think they can win 8 games. And for the reasons you said, I mean, that's a lot of pressure to put on a freshman quarterback, even if he's a 5-star all everything, kind of a legacy player at Nebraska. But I say that because of their defense. Their defense was outstanding. Tony White, their coordinator, this is the second year for his system. He's got a couple horses up front, maybe second only to the guys that Michigan have in that league to kind of anchor that defense. But this is a really good defensive football team. They're very stingy. They're going to keep Nebraska in every game. And the biggest thing is Nebraska just has to turn the whole turnover thing the other way around. Last year, it was their undoing. Probably 2 or 3 games they could have won if they take care of the football, even if they finish even in the turnover margin in a couple games, they win those games. So that's the biggest challenge for them. They can win 8 games. They can go to a bowl game. They got to be plus in the turnover margin when it's all said and done.
If the 2 guys at Michigan are the best 2 interior defensive linemen in the conference, it is absolutely a worthy discussion to say Nash Hutmacher is number 3. I mean, the guy was so good last year. He comes back. So I think they're going to be fun. I'm excited to see what they look like. And obviously the big game week 2, which will be NBC prime time, Big Ten Saturday night, Nebraska hosting Colorado in a rematch of one of the most fun back and forths from last year within this conference as well.